So we've seen what happens when we have an equilibrium in the market and also when the market is out of equilibrium. This enables us, now that we can calculate surplus when the market's in equilibrium and when it's not, we'll be able to start to analyze the effect of different policies and different situations on market outcomes and individuals within markets. We'll begin with a simple regulation called a price control. Price control is just a law that says that the price has to stay within a certain range of prices. Typically, price controls take two forms: price ceilings and price floors. A price ceiling is a maximum allowable price. Remember, you can't go above the ceiling. When we have a maximum allowable price, it caps how high the price can go. And usually, if we're interested in constraining prices to be lower, then the government is hoping that that will benefit consumers. So when we think about why the government might institute a price ceiling, it's usually always when we're worried about low-income households being able to afford basic necessities. So price ceiling will benefit consumers by keeping the price low, but there are also some unintended consequences of that we'll explore in the next video. Usually, we have instituted a price ceiling because we want to help consumers to be able to afford necessities like housing or medications, right? So some common forms of price ceilings are rent controls. And we might also talk about capping pharmaceutical drug prices. Notice that what these goods have in common are that they're necessities, which means that demand for them is very inelastic, and that we think that people might have, they're things that we feel that people might have the right to have, like housing, food, and medication. So as we go forward and we begin to analyze policies, we will take as given the goal of the policy. So we will assume that the aim of the government is to help low-income households. And then we will evaluate the effectiveness on the policy based on how well it achieves that goal. And in that way, we remain a little bit agnostic about whether or not that's a good goal or a bad goal, which, of course, we can debate politics and philosophy. Okay, so the second form of price control is a price floor. Of course, you can't go below the floor, so that's a minimum allowable price in the market. You are not allowed to trade this good for less than X dollars. Who benefits from a price floor, or who potentially benefits from a price floor? Of course, that would be producers as it's the producers that don't want the price to drop too low. So there are a couple different reasons we might be instituting price floors. One is that we're worried about profitability or sustainability of an industry. And the other is the situation where, again, we're worried about low-income households. So some common examples of price floors include the minimum wage, where, again, we're worried about low-income households being able to afford necessities and improve their standard of living. And another example is agricultural supports. In this instance, we have policies to increase the prices of agricultural products, to decrease variability in that market, and also to support domestic agriculture. Again, whether or not that's a worthwhile goal is up for debate. In this section, what we want to do is to analyze how well the policy achieves its goal.